Imagine for a moment that your own body, the very vessel that carries you through life, begins to betray you in the most insidious way possible. It starts a slow, relentless process of turning against itself, replacing the soft, flexible tissues that allow you to move, to breathe, to live, with something hard, unyielding, and permanent: bone. This isn't a myth or a horror story. It's the reality for the roughly 900 people worldwide living with a condition so rare. It's often called the stone man disease. It is a genetic mutation that causes muscles, tendons, and ligaments to progressively turn into solid bone, creating a second skeleton that imprisons its host from within. The medical term for this devastating condition is fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, or FOP. The journey into this living ossification begins with a subtle, almost deceptive clue. Most infants born with FOP appear perfectly healthy, except for one small detail: a malformation of their big toes. They are often short, bent, or missing a joint, appearing almost like a bunion from birth. In many cases, this is the only outward sign that a catastrophic genetic error lies dormant within their DNA. This error resides in a single gene, the ACVR1 gene, which is responsible for regulating bone growth and repair. In a healthy body, this gene acts as a switch, telling the body when to form bone, such as after a fracture, and more importantly, when to stop. But in people with FOP, a single letter typo in their genetic code causes the switch to be permanently stuck. In opposition, the body's repair mechanism becomes its own worst enemy, interpreting any signal of inflammation or damage as a command to build new, unwanted bone. The first true flare-ups of this rogue bone formation typically appear in early childhood, often before the age of 10. A minor bump, a playground fall, a muscle strain from playing events that would be trivial for any other child can trigger a catastrophic chain reaction. The injured area becomes swollen, warm, and painful, resembling a tumor. These are not tumors, however. They are the initial stages of a process called heterotopic ossification. Within these inflamed masses, the body's stem cells, which should be repairing muscle and tissue, are instead commanded by the faulty ACVR1 gene to differentiate into cartilage and then, irreversibly, into solid bone. The first new bones often appear around the neck, shoulders, and back, creating rigid plates where there should be flexible muscle. The child might suddenly find they can no longer turn their head fully, or lift their arms above their shoulders. Each flare-up acts like a fresh pour of concrete, locking another part of their body into a fixed position. This cruel paradox, that injury triggers permanent disability, forces families into a state of constant, agonizing vigilance. A simple trip or fall is no longer a minor incident. It's a potential catalyst for losing another degree of movement forever. Even necessary medical procedures become a grave danger. A routine injection, a muscle biopsy to investigate the strange swellings, or even dental work can provoke a massive flare-up, causing new bone to grow explosively in the traumatized area. This is why an early and accurate diagnosis is so critical, yet tragically, it is often missed. The initial swellings are frequently misdiagnosed as aggressive cancers, leading doctors to perform biopsies. These invasive procedures, meant to help, instead inflict profound and irreversible harm, accelerating the very process they are trying to understand. The body is essentially at war with itself, where every attempt to heal from damage only results in more of the body being turned to stone. The lives of those with FOP are a testament to human resilience. In the face of unimaginable adversity, as the condition progresses through adolescence and into adulthood, they become progressively locked in by their own skeletons. Imagine waking up one morning to find your jaws fused shut, making eating and speaking a monumental challenge, or finding your ribs have become a solid, immovable cage, slowly constricting your lungs and making every breath a conscious effort. People with FOP must navigate a world not built for them, developing incredible ingenuity to perform daily tasks. They learn to use special tools to eat, to dress, and to maintain their hygiene. But mobility becomes the greatest casualty. Many are eventually confined to wheelchairs, not because of weakness, but because their joints, their hips, their knees, their elbows have been fused solid by ribbons and sheets of extraneous bone. They are, in a very real sense, living statues, with minds as sharp and spirits as vibrant as anyone's, trapped inside a body that has become a prison. Over years, this relentless process of ossification builds what is terrifyingly referred to as a second skeleton. This is not a metaphor. It is a literal anatomical reality. X-rays reveal a hauntingly beautiful but horrifying structure, a delicate, branch-like lattice of extra bone growing over and across the original skeleton. It bridges joints, fuses vertebrae, and encases muscles, following the lines of the body's connective tissues. This second skeleton is anatomically and chemically identical to normal bone, but it serves no purpose. It only restricts. It is a perfect, but parasitic, duplicate of the body's framework, one that grows without permission and without end. This new skeleton doesn't replace the original, it grows on top of it, creating a double cage from which there is no escape. The subtle, unsettling sound of cracking or grinding can sometimes be heard as these new bone formations shift, a constant auditory reminder of the body's slow transformation. The daily challenges are immense and multifaceted. Eating can become a life-threatening ordeal if the jaw becomes fused, requiring diets of pureed food or, in extreme cases, the removal of teeth just to create a small opening. Breathing is a constant struggle as the rib cage solidifies, and the muscles of the chest wall turn to bone, reducing lung capacity and increasing the risk of respiratory infections like pneumonia, which is a leading cause of death in the FOP community. Movement, the very definition of being alive, is stolen piece by piece. The ability to raise a hand to wave, to bend down to tie a shoe, to turn one's head to see a loved one, all are gradually surrendered. Yet, amidst this physical decline, the mind remains untouched. Individuals with FOP experience the full range of human emotion, intellect, and desire, all while being acutely aware of their body's inexorable petrification. Historically, before the genetic basis of FOP was understood, the condition was shrouded in mystery and superstition. Ancient accounts and medical texts describe individuals who seemed to turn to stone over time. Their conditions often attributed to divine curses or dark magic. In medical museums, there are anatomical specimens from the 18th and 19th centuries of skeletons encased in this strange, secondary bone structure. The most famous is that of Harry Raymond E. Slack, whose skeleton is on display at the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia. Before his death in 1973 at the age of 39, he donated his body to science, hoping it would help researchers understand his condition. His skeleton is a powerful, silent testament to the disease's devastating progression. By the time he died, he could only move his lips. These historical cases were seen as medical oddities or tragic anomalies, not as victims of a specific, identifiable disease. But today, there is a powerful current of hope running through the FOP community. Driven by groundbreaking scientific research, the discovery of the mutated ACVR1 gene in 2006 was a monumental breakthrough, akin to finding the master switch for the disease. For the first time, scientists understood exactly what was going wrong on a molecular level. This has opened the door to developing targeted therapies, aimed directly at blocking the faulty signal sent by the gene. Several clinical trials are now underway for drugs designed to inhibit the ACVR1 pathway, with the goal of preventing, or at least slowing the formation of new bone. The ultimate hope lies in the field of gene therapy, the possibility of one day correcting the single-letter mistake in the DNA itself, offering not just a treatment, but a potential cure. This research, fueled by the relentless advocacy of patient organizations and the courage of those who participate in trials, represents a beacon in the darkness. With only about 900 confirmed cases across the entire globe, FOP is one of the rarest diseases known to medicine. This rarity presents its own set of challenges, from raising awareness and funding to conducting large-scale clinical trials. Yet, the small but tightly knit global FOP community is incredibly strong and vocal. Organizations like the International FOP Association, or IFOPA, provide a vital lifeline, connecting families, funding crucial research, and advocating for patients. They have built a network of support that ensures no one has to face this journey alone. The stories shared within this community are not just of suffering, but of incredible courage, adaptation, and an unyielding will to live a full life against all odds. They are a profound reminder that behind the science and the haunting imagery of a second skeleton are real people with hopes, dreams, and an unbreakable spirit. Their fight is not just against a rogue gene, but for a future where no one else has to slowly turn to stone.